Yeah, you always come around acting like you need a break. Let me hold something, like I ain't got my own stakes. Always playing victim, but the mirror's out of focus. I see through the games, man, your excuses are bogus. You wanna play the blame game? So let me school you quick. It's about to climb. While you running, I'm shining, man, I'm taking my time. World's got its struggles, but I'm paving my way. Quit the victim act, get up and slay. But check it, while I'm hustling and grinding every day, you sitting on the sidelines, wishing life would change. Talking about the world's against you, but look at your moves. No effort, no hustle, just waiting for my dues. You ain't on my level, this is hard truth. So let me school you quick, it's about to climb. While you running, I'm shining, man, I'm taking my time. World's got its struggles, but I'm paving my way. Quit the victim act, get up and slay. You ain't on my level, this is hard truth. So let me school you quick, it's about to climb. While you running, I'm shining, man, I'm taking my time. World's got its struggles, but I'm paving my way. Quit the victim act, get up and slay. No more holds for you, my patience is thin. Keep your hands to yourself, time to let the real win.
Tech Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains. But trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? Today is Saturday, November 16th, 2024. Guess what? We are officially halfway through November already. Can you believe that? We are halfway through November already. It's like the year just started and it's already over. What can we say? what can we do? But we will move on. We will continue into 2025 and beyond. Let's get to it. Just want to say a big good morning. This is the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate show. This is where we review our weekly economic numbers. And I have my guy, Yakar, in the building, co-host of the show from the chat, as well as Mitch, the co-host of the show from the chat. Those are my economic data experts. I'm learning this with you all, but they are the real MVPs. So shout out to my guys, Yakar and Mitch. And Yakar says, Mr. Steele, your keys is in the building. Shout out to my guy, Yakar. And before we even get started, I'm gonna say, right, thank you so much to Yakar for helping us on Thursday night to get our UI looking a little bit better. We still have a lot of work to do, but we are making progress. Rod Brown gave me a great idea as well to use accordion. So as we get to it, I was thinking about it after the show Friday morning. I'm like, oh yeah, I see how we can integrate these accordions in here. So we're going to figure that out as we go along. But yeah, so maybe this coming Thursday we'll add the accordions for I'll show you when we get there, right? I'll show you when we get there. And we have CV63 in the building. Says, sup everyone, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with us early on this Saturday morning.
We the best.
All right, so let's get into it. So quick announcements. Tomorrow we're going to be going live. We're going to be continue working on our deployment to Google Cloud Platform of our React app for what we're going to be using today, the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. We're going to continue working on that deployment, and then hopefully we can get that done tomorrow. So next week we can get into Kubernetes. I was watching some videos on Kubernetes this week, going through the course, and I am excited. I am so excited to get started with Kubernetes. We are always chasing growth over here because we are engineered to win. And one more shout out as well. Shout out to, I didn't notice this at the time until after the show, but shout out to, let me go double check the name, but I believe it is CM Griffin on Twitch who hooked me up with a raid the other day. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm going to be checking out your Twitch stream as well whenever I can. All right. So thank you guys so much. Just wanted to get that out of the way, but we're going to be going live tomorrow, and then I'm going to be scheduling all the additional live streams for the week. So we have our schedule. I like to do it early because I like to have a schedule that I'm going to follow, and we run it up from there. All right. Yakar says, when that song comes on, I feel like we should make a video like a 90s intro sitcom. Funny you should say that, Yakar. Funny you should say that. Remember Yakar? So I was talking to Yakar the other day. I was like, how do they make those AI generated videos? Like you'll see, like remember those squirrel videos that you saw all over X and stuff like that. And I was like, how do they make it? And I saw one, and someone asked, how did you do it? And they showed the AI tool that they use, right? So I was just messing with it. I was going to show this at the end, but I'll show it right now, where we can figure out how we can use something like this, right? Let me see. Your car says, like when we are doing something and the camera zooms in on us and we look up and that's a good one. Totally. And then our name at the bottom. You know what? I had something like that, but let me show you. Like, so I was trying this AI thing out, right? And look what, I'll just show this real quick before we get started, right? So, look at this real quick. So I uploaded this picture, right? And I said, walking through a matrix of code, destroying viruses, and it came up with this 5-second video, which was pretty cool. Like how they were able to take this AI generated image, and then I said, like, do something with it, and then it was able to make it walk through something, So I thought that was pretty cool. So maybe maybe I mess with this and we come up with that intro that your car is talking about, because maybe I can do a prompt that's, I don't know, we'll figure something out. But that'll be super, super cool. That'll be really, really cool intro, right? All right. Anyways, but your car always has these amazing ideas. I must say. All right. We are gonna get started with the show. It is Saturday. Saturdays are my busiest days, believe it or not. But it's not Monday, it's not Tuesday, it's not Wednesday, it's not Thursday, it's not Friday. It is Saturday because on Saturdays we do the morning show. I have to prepare all the content, all the pre-recorded content for this week. I also work on scheduling our Q&A videos and scheduling the live stream. So it's a pretty and I have coaching calls. I have like maybe 3 or 4 coaching calls today, and I have to go visit somebody later on today as well. So really, really busy today, but we do not, I repeat, we do not miss. And your guy says, imagine Mitch on his laptop doing data work. He throws a piece of paper in the trash. That is a great idea, your car. That, I must say, that is a great idea. We're gonna figure it out. We are going to figure it out. But I think all of these are amazing ideas. And then he smiles and looks at the camera. It says Mitch at the bottom. But your car, we have to be able to use this. We have to be able to use that. I mean, I already have the laugh track, right? So if we're gonna make it a sitcom, we gotta be able to do that. All right. I'm just saying. All right. Let's get, because I can talk to your car about this all day, right? Which I probably will. But for now, let's get into the show. Okay. All right. So we are going to jump over to what we're going to be reviewing for this week. Do me a favor though, before we do that, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content. All right. Alrighty then. Let's get to it. All right. We are over here. Okay, so let's take a look at this LinkedIn real quick to see what we reviewed on Monday morning. It says, the classic laugh track, exactly. It says, so inflation, so the numbers to watch for this week from Monday by our good friend Kate Chapman, editor at LinkedIn News, says, inflation returns to center stage this week with the key gauge forecast to show stable price growth in October. The consumer price index is expected to have risen 2.6%, up slightly from 2.4% in September, according to an inflation nowcast from the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. But excluding volatile items such as food, the gauge increased 3.3% last month and unchanged from September. Consumer price growth has been slowing since 9.1% pandemic peak in 2022, a factor cited by the Federal Reserve in cutting interest rates for the second time since September last week. It is kind of interesting, right? People were calling for an interest rate cut forever, and then like 2 months back to back, they cut it by first 50 basis points and then 25 basis points. So that's pretty interesting. So we have to make sure that, like, let's see if they were accurate in their expectations of having having the CPI, Consumer Price Index, risen 2.6% from the 2.4% in September. And let's go from there, right? So we're going to be reviewing from Wednesday, November 13th. Bureau of Labor Statistics releasing the monthly consumer price index for October, measures inflation through price of goods and services. And then Thursday, it released the producer price index. It measures the change over time in prices charged by domestic producers for their output. And then we have our usual initial jobless claims from the U.S. Department of Labor. We'll see if New Jersey is at the top of the chart as usual. Some things can change. We never know. We never know, right? And then from yesterday, November 15th, the U.S. Commerce Department released its retail sales report for October, which tracks demand for finished goods such as food, clothing, and furniture in stores and online. All right. So that is the plan for today. Now, my personal goal for today is to hopefully not have to use Bloomberg, right? I want to get to a point where I can just remove this Bloomberg out of the way. So we shall see, because I want our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data to be our central source of information. And if something changes, we can use the API and soon the UI to edit the changes and add new features and stuff like that, right? So we're going to get into our first one for today. But before we do that, we have to stop the show. We got our best friend in the chat. We have Mitch in the building. Says, I'm her, everybody. What's going on, Mitch? How are you doing today? Hopefully you had a beautiful, beautiful Friday and a beautiful week and a beautiful night and a beautiful morning. And on our first, after we finish with our consumer price index, I'll ask him because Mitch is a boxing aficionado. We're gonna ask him what did he think about the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight last night. All right, and Mitch says just because they're cutting it means nothing. People are still struggling. It will take years to catch back up, and that depends on them not increasing it. That is a great point, Mitch. Appreciate it. And we got B Peace in the building with the thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much. Says Mitch had the why wait until the break. It was certified trash. All right, let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is our consumer price index. All right, from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Let's go over to our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. And like I said, a big shout out and salute to Yakar, who called in on Thursday to help us get this looking a little bit better. It looks a lot better than it was before, but we have so much to do. But I am really intrigued by this. I like the background color, how it's like, it's very inviting. It's very warm. And then we're going to change this color. And I like Rod Brown's idea as well, as we're going to take this image right here, and we'll probably like lighten it and then move the text into here and move this in here with the search bar as well, so that we can have like everything in there. And we're gonna try things out, and we'll see what happens, right? See what happens. Okay, so let's start off with our first one. Let's search for consumer price index. And we do a search. And one thing I have to do, let me check our backlog real quick, because as I continue to work on this, I always get additional. Make sure I add it to the backlog. Okay, I have it in there. Ability to press enter on the keyboard when searching. Yeah, because I am a shortcuts person, so I don't like having to scroll over to click this little icon right here. I want to be able to press enter. It's probably something really easy to do, but we haven't gotten there yet, right? So consumer price index, we have our consumer price index here. And so let's start off with what exactly is the consumer price index. So so first and foremost, it comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? We have the link here. Says so CPI is like a price report card for everyday things you buy, like groceries, gas, clothes, and even rent. Imagine you make a shopping list of all the things you need. The CPI keeps track of how much that list costs over time. Here's how it works. So let's take an example of a shopping basket. Think of it as a big basket filled with all the stuff people usually buy. And then the price check, the government checks the price of these items regularly. And then they compare prices. They compare today's price with the price from the past to see if things are getting more expensive or cheaper. So if the CPI goes up, it means prices are rising and your money doesn't stretch as far. If it goes down, things are getting cheaper. Why does it matter? Well, it affects how much money you need to live and how much you can save. It also influences things like wages, pensions, and even the economy overall. So basically, the CPI is a way to measure the cost of living and how it changes over time. So let's take an example of a homemaker, a stay-at-home mom, right? So let's say a stay-at-home mom manages the household budget. Here's how changes in the CPI could affect her. So groceries and household items. If the CPI shows that food prices have increased by 5%, she notices that the usual $200 weekly grocery bill now costs $210. To stay within budget, she might need to switch to cheaper brands, buy in bulk, or reduce unnecessary purchases. So that means that instead of shopping at the eye level shelf, you might have to go look at the bottom shelf. Get the cereal that is in a bag and that is not in a box. All right. So that's an example of reducing the spending. If the cost goes up, right? So you might not be getting. I think we talked about this last time. You might not be getting the Honey Nut Cheerios. You might be getting the whatever. Help me out. What are the cereals cost? Fruitios. You might have to get the Fruitios. You might not getting the Fruit Loops. You might get the Fruitios. All right. I'm just saying. Me personally, I always looked at the bottom anyways. I didn't care about the top level. Although back in the days when I was a kid, I did want the treat, the little 10 cents thing they added in the box. We all wanted that, right? I'm just saying. So let's continue. Clothing for kids. If the CPI shows that clothing prices have gone up, she may have to look for sales, thrift stores, or secondhand clothing to dress. Isn't thrift stores secondhand clothing to dress the kids for the school year? Childcare costs for occasional use. If the CPI indicates that daycare or babysitting costs are increasing, it might impact how often she can hire a sitter for errands or personal time. Transportation. If the CPI shows gas prices are rising, the mom may need to drive less or plan trips efficiently, like combining errands into one trip to avoid overspending on fuel. And electricity and utilities. If the CPI reveals that utility costs have increased, she might find herself adjusting the thermostat or switching to more energy efficient practices to save money, right? So, some people, they will, especially down here in South Florida, right? They will have their AC on like 85 and open a window, and then the humidity comes in and it is trying to kill you. It is hot. Like it might not be like hot outside, but the humidity will kill you. All right, I'm just saying. All right. All right. So why does the CPI matter to her? So the CPI affects household expenses and helps her plan the family budget. She can anticipate which items will cost more and adjust spending habits. Save for the future. If prices are rising, she might cut unnecessary expenses to build a saving cushion and make smarter shopping decisions. By paying attention to sales or discounts, she can stretch the family budget further. So, the app Flip does not endorse this show, but they do not sponsor the show. But I use the app Flip because it tells you all the circulars that are local to your area, or not all of them, but the ones that the ones that are added to it, and it tells you what deals are going on. And so I use Flip to check on my steak prices at different locations every week. So I'm just saying that's what I use, right? So in short, the CPI helps a stay-at-home mom understanding rising costs and adjust the household budget to ensure her family stays comfortable even when prices change. All right, so let's get to our CPI report, and we're just going to use this link right here. What? I think because www maybe. All right, there you go. So I have to update that. So we have to update. Let me add to our here. Update the link to the CPI report to include www, so it does not go to SSL error page. So you see it? Shout out to your car and all of his trainings and presentations on Trello because see how we can just go to Trello and we can just add another task that we need to do in order that we don't have this SSL error, right? So with that being said, let's continue. So let's see. CPI for all items rise 0.2% in October. Shelter up. What does that mean? All right, so let's click on it. So let's see. The consumer price index for, let me see, hold on. All right, so the consumer price index for all urban consumers, CPI-U, increases 0.2% on a seasonally adjusted basis in October. The same increase as in each of the previous 3 months, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today. Over the last 12 months, all items index increased 2.6% for a seasonal adjustment. So what LinkedIn expected on Monday is accurate, right? So if it goes up, that means things have progressively been getting more expensive over the past, the past 4 years. But the past 3 months, as they mentioned, it's been going up 0.2%, which doesn't look like a lot, but it is like every increase is something, right? So I'm telling you this, right? I got an email yesterday saying, "Hey, we're going to increase your membership to this one thing," and I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What?" I have to do some serious thinking the next couple of weeks to see if I'm going to take it. Right? I have to say, right. Anyways, let's continue. The index for shelter rose 0.4% in October, accounting for over half of the monthly all items increase. The food index also increased over the month, rising 0.2%, as the food at home index increased 0.1% and the food away from home increased 0.2%. The energy index was unchanged over the month after declining 1.9% in September. The index for all items less food and energy rose 0.3% in October, as it did in August and September. Indexes that increased in October include shelter, used cars and trucks, airline fares, medical care, and recreation. The indexes for apparel, communication, and household furnishings and operations were among those that decreased over the month. The all items index rose 2.6% for the 12 months ending in October, after rising 2.4% over the 12 months ending September. The all items less food and energy rose 3.3% over the last 12 months. The energy index decreased 4.9% for the 12 months ending in October. The food index increased 2.1% over the last year. All right. Let's see. All right. So if we take a look at this chart over here, let's see. Unadjusted 12-month ending in October, 2.6. So it increased. All right. So let's take a look. So it increased 0.3% in April, didn't increase at all in May. It went down by 0.1% in June, and then 0.2% in July, 0.2% in August, 0.2% in September, 0.2% in October. So, and now we're up to 2.6%. So steady rise. And food. So the one that I care the most about is food, right? Food and energy. And 0.1, 0.2, 0.2, 0.1, 0.4, 0.2. So 2.1%. Food at home is 1.1. Food away from home is 3.8. And if you remember correctly, back in August, I think that's when the new, was it August? Or not August, in April. Was that when the new minimum wage laws went into effect for restaurant workers and stuff like that in like places like California and stuff? But yeah, so like the food away from home, steady rising, right? Energy has been pretty good actually. It's been going down. So April was 1.1, but then May -2, June -2, stayed the same in July, -0.8, -1.9, and then stayed the same. So at like in total, -4.9. So energy prices has been going down. Energy commodities, a big drop, 12.4% for the unadjusted 12 months ending in October. Gasoline -12.2, and fuel oil -20.8. Energy services, those are going up. It went down for a while, but then September and October they did go up. Let's see. All right, so we pretty much just reviewed over the food. So there's no need to go into in depth in that. Energy, we just reviewed that. There's no need to go in depth in that. Let's see. Energy index decreased 4.9. We just read that. Let's see. Not seasonally adjusted CPI measures. The consumer price index for all urban consumers increased 2.6%. We read that. Let's see. I think that's everything for the CPI. That is everything for the CPI. So let's wrap the CPI up. Alrighty. So things got a little bit more expensive, but they just add up over time, right? And I don't know, it's like they pretty much things are getting more expensive. But we shall see. I do like the fact that energy prices are going down, and hopefully they continue to go down a lot more. I have noticed that my gas prices have been a lot lower than a year ago, so that's good. All right, let's get to the comments before we move on. We have all right, so we're gonna be talking about so yeah, Mitch said the Tyson versus Jake Paul fight was certified trash. Your car says it was a money grab. They both put on a show. I heard that Tyson was going to make $20 million off of that. And Jake Paul can make up to 40 millions off of that. So shout out to them for getting their money. And CV63 said, yep, about that money for sure.
Money.
Mitch says, I want to help Tyson. I can't stand the other guy. Mitch, who can you stand, Mitch? Just tell me one person that you can stand. Because tomorrow you're going to be like, I can't stand Tyson either. Mitch, we know you. We know you, Mitch. The perpetual hater, Mitch, right? CV says, Tyson is a legend. Paul should be put in jail for scamming. Hey. Tyson accepted the fight, all right? And he made a lot of money. Mitch says, made me think about when Ralph was getting beat up. Well, when did I get beat up? Come on, son. 200 to 210. And your car says Fruitios, exactly. And Honeyos, there you go. He went from 200 to 210. That's a trash example. Well, Mitch, I have an idea. I have an idea for you, Mitch. I have a great idea for you. How about we switch spots and you come sit in this chair and you come up with you build the economic, the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. You build the API, you add the examples, and you present this information. How about that? Cash me outside, Mitch. How about that? All right, I'm just saying. Your car says Cracker Jack prize. You know what? I never got into like the whole Cracker Jack thing. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I never it was never really marketed to me. It was more we saw more of the cereal with the little things in the cereal, and then on the box they'll tell you, oh, buy this cereal and you get this little thing at the bottom of it, right? And then I never actually thought about opening the box upside down. I would always try to search through it and wait until it fell into the bowl. Yeah, Mitch says no free promotion. I'm just saying it's a good app. Let's see. It says you have to realize that you have to realize 5% is the nail in the coffin. People are in debt, check to check, with the repo man on the way. It's small to us, but everything to average consumers. It's bad out there. Thank you so much, Akar, for being the voice of reason.
Let's get it.
Like people like Mitch. I mean, $10 extra a month on groceries ends up to $40 extra a month. I'm just saying, all right? And that's only groceries. What about clothes? What about other stuff, All right, let's continue. It says nobody is going out to eat unless it's to Chili's. Interesting. I haven't been to Chili's in God knows how long. I have not been to Chili's in God knows how long. Which is, I don't think that $10 is that high though. If it was like 30 and up, I understand, but $10, I know people complaining about 50 more. I understand that. Wow. Talk about being an elitist. You know what, your car. I bet you on Monday, Mitch is going to be a guest on The View. I don't think $10 is that high. Maybe not for you. Driving around in your Lamborghini on Saturdays and your Ferrari on Sundays and your Audi on Mondays. But a stay-at-home mom trying to budget for the family, trying to buy groceries, and says, all right, the budget for the week is $200. And now you're walking through the grocery store and little Timmy is like, I want Apple Jacks. If they still make Apple Jacks, I want Apple Jacks. And it's like Apple Jacks last week was $2, and now it's $2.50. And it's like, sorry, honey, we have to get you the bag, which went up to $2. I'm telling you, oof, my goodness. Or Applebee's. I agree. I do agree. Nobody's talking about those $500 restaurants. All right. I'm probably going to ruin a sponsorship opportunity, but I do not like Applebee's. Unless they decide to sponsor the show, then it might be my favorite restaurant in the whole wide world. Your car says gas is getting higher in Cali. Everything is getting higher in Cali, all right? I'm just saying. I meant crypto scams. Paul was fined $400,000 by the SEC. What? I did not even know that. Bad Jake Paul. Bad Jake Paul. Shame on you. And it says somebody needs coffee. Krabby Patty. For promoting scam crypto. Okay, I had no idea. I do not follow crypto or Jake Paul like that closely. And he says he's been talking to Rod Brown for too long. What a shame. What? Rod Brown's not even here to defend himself. Come on, Mitch. Says your car says I like boxes that have crossword puzzles, mazes, and word find on them. Is the toy clean before putting in the box? Come on, your car. You know it's not. But if it was, how are we supposed to build immunity to all these different sicknesses, you know? So they have to make it sick. Says, what's up with Rob? What did I do? What did I do? I'm just saying, what did I do? Your car says, Whoopi is going to try to get... I should have read that before. Oh my God. Oh, hopefully he meant Matt. I don't even, either way, it sounds bad. She'd be thirsty when he shows up. Guys, I have so many of these stories. I feel so bad seeing old people and parents whose kids look disappointed. Then the parent looks sad because they can't do that simple thing. It's rough. I'm telling you, like, especially for people on a fixed budget and stuff. And then they say they're getting Social Security and it's a fixed budget and they get a certain amount. And now food prices are rising, like their electricity bill is rising. It's tough, especially for older people, right? Especially for older people, like, young people like us, we can always like try to do more, try to figure things out. But when you hear somebody like Chris Wallace from, he used to be on Fox now and used to be on CNN, and he's like, you know what? I can't, like, this TV thing is not working for me anymore. I'm going to go independent at like 77 years old. I'm going to go and start my own podcast. What? And we're like, okay, well, go for it, I guess. Go for it.
Bruh.
Got to do what you got to do. And lastly, Mitch says, am I Rob today? And he is me. Mitch, you could never, ever fill these shoes. I'm right. I'm just saying. Probably because they're too small for you. I'm just saying right there because my shoe size is not the largest. I'm just saying. All right. All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to our next one for today. We have. So let's check this one off. So we have the producer price index now, where we're going to be checking the change over time for domestic producers for their output. Okay. All right, let's get to it. Let's search for producer price index. Search. And we have PPI right here. Click on that. So it's so this also comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It should be PPI, but we'll check that. The producer price index is similar to the consumer price index, but instead of tracking price of things people buy, it tracks the prices that business pays to make those things. So how does it work? Production costs. Imagine a factory making sneakers. They need material like rubber, fabric, and labor. The PPI tracks the price of these materials and services. The price check, just like the CPI, the government checks the prices of these materials and services regularly. They compare prices. They compare today's prices with the price from the past to see if the costs for business are going up or down. If the PPI goes up, it means that costs for businesses to produce goods and services are rising. If the price goes down, it means those costs are decreasing. So why should it matter? When the production cost goes up, businesses might raise the prices to cover these costs, which can eventually lead to higher prices for consumers. So PPI can be an early indicator of inflation, showing how prices of raw materials and production might affect the prices we pay in stores later. So that's what I was thinking, right? Um, the PPI should be a precursor to the CPI. So if the PPI is going down, then at some point the CPI should follow, unless there's some nefarious things happening. And if it's going up, then that means the CPI should be going up later, right? So let's continue with our homemaker example for that stay-at-home mom, and how the PPI could affect her and maybe help plan for the anticipated CPI, right? So let's say for the grocery prices, if the PPI for food production rises for things like grains, dairy, or meat, the homemaker will see higher grocery bills over time as the store passes on the increased cost. For example, bread might become more expensive if flour prices go up at the wholesale level. To adjust, you may start meal planning more carefully, buying in bulk, or switching to store brand products. So you might have to buy great value and stuff like that. So household cleaning products, right? So if the PPI for chemicals increase, manufacturers producing cleaning supplies like detergent, dish soap, and disinfectants may raise their prices. The homemaker may need to buy in bulk, look for discounts, or switch to homemade cleaning solutions like vinegar and baking soda to save money, right? Let's see. Furniture and appliances. If the PPI for raw material like wood, steel, or plastic increases, the price of furniture or kitchen appliances rises at retail stores. She might delay buying new appliances or furniture and instead try to repair what she already owns, right? So with all said and done, right? If the cost to make stuff goes up, then the cost to buy stuff, like the stuff that you're going to be buying, is going to go up as well. So this stay-at-home mom would have to, if she uses the PPI, she can actually start budgeting for months in advance on what might affect her when she goes shopping, because she can anticipate the CPI going up and say, all right, so the prices of household cleaning items are going to, like, the materials to make them is going to be going up. So let's start planning now for the future, or let's buy up now before the prices actually go up. So let's bulk buy now so that once the prices increase in the future. You guys ever seen those couponers? Like, they'll have a whole garage all neatly organized with a bunch of stuff, right? So they might start couponing early in order to save money in the future, right? So, and I think so why does the PPI matter to a homemaker, right? Early warnings for rising prices, right? So like we were saying, it lets you know that in the stores, the prices are going to be rising soon if you catch the PPI early, right? And then it should also let you know if the PPI starts to go down, that a few months down the road, the price to buy stuff are going to go down. So maybe at this time, you start to budget to say, all right, let's buy in bulk now. So once the prices go up again, we can be protected, right? Adjusting the household budget, she can plan ahead by cutting unnecessary expenses or stocking up before prices rise, like I was just saying, and finding alternatives. By being aware of PPI changes, she can prepare for higher costs and look for deals, substitutes, or DIY solutions, right? I just had a thought as I was reading this. What about, so Yukar, what do you think about this, right? What about if instead of, like, we have one example, but we have like, let's say we have about like 5 or 6 examples in the API. And once we go to find a definition like the producer price index, it randomly chooses an example for us to go over for that, like, once we get into it, right? So let's say right now we have the car mechanic and we have the homemaker. Once we actually choose the PPI, it randomly decides if it's going to give us the homemaker or the car mechanic or anything else that we have listed over here. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that might be pretty cool. We'll see, right? We'll see. Just a thought that just popped into my head. Let me add that to our. Should we make the examples be randomly be random based on what we have in our list? All right, cool. So we are here. All right, so that's our example. Now let's go to here. but let me see if I do that. All right, so here we are. And I'm gonna add this for CPI and PPI. Got that. All right, perfect. So let's get our producer price index. News release. PPI for final demand rises 0.2% in October. So it rises pretty much the same as the CPI. Services increased 0.3%. Goods advanced 0.1%. So let's take a what? So let's take a read of this. All right. So let's see. So producer price index for final demand increased 0.2% in October. Seasonally adjusted, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics report out today. Final demand prices advanced 0.1% in September and 0.2% in August. On an unadjusted basis, the index for final demand moved up 2.4% for the 12 months ending in October. Let's see. In October, most of the rise in final demand price can be traced to 0.3% advance in the index for final demand services. Prices for final demand goods inched up 0.1%. So I mean, prices went up on the cost to make everything just by a little bit, right? By the same amount as the CPI. All right, so the index for final demand, less food, energy, and trade increased 0.3% in October after moving up 0.1% in September. For the 12 months ending in October, prices for final demand, less food, energy, and trade services rose 3.5%. So things for the past 12 months have continuously been getting more expensive, right? Let's see. So final demand services, the index for final demand services increased 0.3% in October after rising 0.2% in September. Over three-fourths of the broad-based advance in October is attributable to prices for final demand services, less trade, transportation, and warehousing, which moved up 0.2%. The index for final demand transportation and warehousing services for final demand trade services also increased 0.5% and 0.1% respectively, always respectively, all right? Let's see. Product detail. Over 1/3 of the rise in index for final demand services can be traced to prices for portfolio management, which advanced 3.6%. The index for machinery and vehicle wholesaling, airline passenger services, computer hardware, software, and supplies retailing, outpatient care, partial, and cable and satellite subscriber services also moved higher. In contrast, margins for apparel, footwear, and accessories retailing fell 3.7%. Prices for securities, brokerage, dealing, investment advice, and related services for truck transportation also declined. So that's good. All right, let's see. Final demand goods. The index for final demand goods inched up 0.1% in October, following 2 consecutive decreases. Okay, so it went down the past 2 months, but it went up just a little bit for the final demand goods. The advance can be traced to a 0.3% rise in prices for final demand goods, less food and energy. Conversely, the indexes for final demand energy and for final demand foods declined 0.3% and 0.2% respectively. So here's a tricky thing with the PPI, right? So here you say that the index for final demand energy and for final demand foods declined 0.3%. So you would think that food prices could be going down, right? But I think a big cost of food prices is the services, right? So like restaurant workers, which could be would that be classified as food services, or I don't know. But like just labor costs is really expensive, you know. Labor costs would be really expensive. So I think that part, like the part of the PPI for like producing the food, although the food might cost less, the price to getting it from point A to point B and getting it processed and everything like that, that can also keep the prices up, you know. So that's my thoughts. Let's see what your car and Mitch have to say about that. But that's my thoughts. So price so an 8.4 price increase in the index for carbon steel scrap was a major factor in the advance in prices for final demand goods. The index for meat, diesel fuel, fresh and dry vegetables, and oil seeds also moves higher. In contrast, Fuel for liquefied petroleum gas fell 18.1%. The index for chicken, eggs, processed poultry, and ethanol also decreased. So hopefully your car's egg prices go down a little bit. Hopefully your car's egg prices can go down just a little bit. All right. Let's continue. So let's take a look. Let's see. Total final demand October of 2023 is negative 0.3%, but October 2024 is 0.2%. So it had a pretty good size swing in there. Final demand, less energy, trade, it's 0.1% of in 2023, and it's 0.3% in October of 2024. Final demand goods, let's see, it's 0.1%. Let's see, food, 0.2% in October. It actually went down in April and May, and it's negative 0.2% in October. Let's see. Let's continue. All right. So intermediate demand by commodity type. Within intermediate demand in October, prices for processed goods rose at 0.5%. The index for unprocessed goods jumped 4.1%, and the prices for services inched up 0.1%. Processed goods for intermediate demand. The index for processed goods for intermediate demand rose 0.5% in October. And if I remember correctly, intermediate demand was like not the final, but like what it takes to make the final. So like the different materials that you would need. Correct? Like, is that right? Mentioned in your card? Like the intermediate demand is like the different things that you need to make the final product, right? Not like when it's ready to go, but like all the different materials that you need to make it. Let's see. So the processed goods for intermediate demand, the index for processed goods for intermediate demand rose 0.5% in October, following two consecutive declines. 60% of the increase can be attributed to 0.4% advance in prices for processed materials, less food and energy. The index for processed energy goods moved up 1.2%. Conversely, prices for processed foods and feeds edged down 0.1% for the 12 months ending in October. The index for processed foods, processed goods for intermediate demand fell 1.2%. All right. Let's see. Product detail. A major factor in October increase in prices for processed goods for intermediate demand was the index for primary basic organic chemicals, which advanced 5.3%. Prices for diesel, fuel, commercial electric power, plastic, resin, and materials, non-ferrous metals, and meat also moved higher. In contrast, the index for processed poultry declined 6.6%. Prices for liquefied petroleum gas and for ethanol also fell. Unprocessed goods for intermediate demand. Prices for unprocessed goods for intermediate demand rose 4.1% in October, the largest advance since moving up 4.6% in August of 2022. So that was a pretty high jump for the unprocessed goods for intermediate demand. Over 80% of the broad-based increase in October can be attributed to a 9.9% jump in the index for unprocessed energy material. Prices for unprocessed non-food material, less energy, and for unprocessed food stuff and feed stuff also rose 2.1% and 0.4% respectively. For the 12 months ending in October, the index for unprocessed goods for intermediate demand declined 2.9%. So a lot of things happening. A lot of things happening for the intermediate demand. So it's hard to see like what exactly is going to be happening in the next coming months with this, because prices, it shows like prices went up a little bit for the final demand, but the prices for the all right, so here's my speculation, right? If the unprocessed goods in this October went up, as the producers are gathering this with a higher price right now, when they go to make the final demand in like December, January, they're going to be using the more expensive unprocessed goods. So that's going to make the final demand a little bit more expensive, which maybe 4, 5, 6 months down the line, it might affect the consumer price index as well. So what do you like? Am I off? Am I off with that, Mitch? Your car CV63? Am I off? Like, could the intermediate demand prices now going up affect the prices of the final demand in like maybe 1 to 3 months, which is going to eventually impact the prices of the CPI in maybe like 4 to 8 months? I don't know. That's how what I'm speculating based on reading this, but I could be totally wrong, right? So this is the intermediate demand showing the different price changes. We're not going to go through each one of these, but we can see like the price changes over time. And services for intermediate demand, prices for services for intermediate demand moved up 0.1%. And thinking about the services price, right, for the intermediate demand, who are the type of people who are doing these jobs? So maybe the intermediate demand services prices don't go up as strongly as the final demand services prices and the consumer price index services prices, because I think the more people are visible to you, the more the service can cost versus like, people who might be gathering the chicken, like, gathering the chicken eggs, gathering the feed, all that type of stuff. I don't know. I could be wrong. This is my thoughts though. That's how my mind puts them together. But yeah, that is about it. That is about it for the producer price index. All right, let's check the chat before we move on to our job stuff. All right, so let's see what the chat has to say. Do me a favor though, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content. All right, so Mitch says, you're right. Your shoes are probably a size 3. In boys. At least it's in boys and not in girls, right? Because that would be heartbreaking to me. All right. Your car says vinegar with peppermint oil.
Message.
Take notes. All right. Let's see. Turn baking soda into liquid paste. Works great. Sprinkling dry baking soda on carpet, then vacuuming it is the best way to keep it clean. And Mitch says, yes, we should do it. I mean, all right, so let's give Mitch a lesson in tech, right? In tech. Just because it's going to be pulling up a random heard the door opening. Just because it's going to be pulling up a random example, it's still the trash example, or the examples that you say are trash, that's going to be in our database, right? So it doesn't change. It doesn't change the examples. It's just going to randomly provide us one. So, Mitch, stick to data and boxing. Stick to data and boxing. Says, yeah, that works. Or you can have the user choose the context of the worker at the beginning. When they ask for a definition, it automatically populates the choice that they made. That's an option as well. That is also an option. Mitch says, am I good? I am doing great. Thank you for asking, Mitch. And your car says, yes, that's good of how I explained the intermediate demand. And Mitch also agreed. He said, yup, you see, I'm learning. I am learning. And says, Ralph wears size 8 in men's. If I had to guess, close. Let's see. Says, okay, y'all must have went on a date too. What? What are you talking about? You see, all right. Your car. I'm sensing a little bit of jealousy and heartbreak from Mitch over there. I'm just saying. I'm sensing a little bit of jealousy and heartbreak. Okay. And it says, you good though? I'm gonna start. Mitch. If you stop with the nonsense, right, then I will not be good. I show up on Saturday mornings for the nonsense, all right? Like, if it wasn't for the nonsense, then there would be no Saturday morning show, you know? So come on, Mitch. Come on. You cannot. Mitch, I virtually pay you for the nonsense, all right? And Yukari says to Mitch that he loves him. Aw. See, we all love you, Mitch. You are the best friend to all of us, right? Mitch is all of our best friend. Shake your bank. All right? It says, now I can read the room. I'm sensitive today. You'll be all right, Mitch. You will be all right. I know it was tough to see Mike Tyson get beat down like that yesterday, but but it's okay. It's okay. I'm talking about today, Mitch. You were on fire on Thursday. What are you talking about? And CV says we gotta have a little bit of comedy relief. Exactly. Exactly. You know. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. And your car says that's why I told him to get a good old bourbon and knock the edge off. There are many ways to knock the edge off. I'm just saying, right? But Mitch got to do something. Mitch, go jump in the Lambo, take a ride around the city, and come back. All right? I'm just saying. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. Do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content. Check out techcodrop.dev. Tons of exclusive content. You sign up for free. And I'm going to be working on something with that as well, where I will also be able to hook you up. All right. All right. So, and CV says, I'm new, but I know it's all love. Exactly. We have fun. We have a lot of fun over here. Because what's the point of doing all this stuff and learning all this stuff if we're not having fun doing it? Okay. So let's jump into the next one. So we got our producer price index done. We're going to go through our U.S. Department of Labor releasing the initial jobless claims for the previous week. Okay, so let's jump over to let's go to jobless. Why do I have two of these? I have to delete one of these. So let's go to, all right, so the weekly jobless claims come from the U.S. Department of Labor. This is a link to it, but we're going to read this first. I got to get a better example, though. I definitely got to get this example I don't like. I got to get a better example for why the weekly jobless claims is important. But what is the weekly jobless claims? So it's a report that counts how many people asked for help because they lost their jobs and couldn't find work that week, right? So every week it gets released how many people were pretty much laid off, and maybe they're filing for unemployment, they need help because they just got recently laid off. So think about it like this, right? Let's say you are a school administrator, and every week some kids might get sick and need to stay home. The school keeps track of how many kids are out sick each week to see if the number is going up or down. In the same way, the government counts how many people are asking for help because they lost their jobs. This report helps us understand how the economy is doing. If more people are asking for help, it means that there are fewer jobs available. If more people are asking for help, it means that there are fewer jobs available. And if fewer people are asking for help, it means there are more jobs available. So, did I have another example? Let me see. Oops. Ooh, that's not good. What did I do? Let's go to, let's add this real quick. How to handle going back in browser in React routed app. So I just added when I press the back button, I always get some weird page. So I have to look into that, what's going on. All right. So let's go to jobless again. See if it's the exact same thing. Yep, it's the exact same thing. All right. So trucking example. So every week the U.S. Department of Labor counts how many people have recently lost their job and applied for government help, like employment benefits. These numbers are called jobless claims. It's like keeping track of how many truck drivers, warehouse workers, and others are out of work and need some financial help to get by. All right. So let's jump into this report. Zoom in. So, in the week ending of November 9th, the advanced figure for seasonally adjusted initial claims was 217,000, a decrease of 4,000 from the previous week, so revised levels of 221,000. The 4-week moving average was 221,000, a decrease of 6,250 from the previous week's unrevised averages of 227,250, right? So, the advanced seasonally adjusted insured unemployment rate was 1.2% for the week ending in November 2nd. So this number pretty much is always between 1.1 and 1.3. The advanced numbers for seasonally adjusted insured unemployment during the week ending of November 2nd was 1,873,000, a decrease of 11,000 from the previous week's revised levels. The previous week's level was revised down by 8,000 from 1,892,000 to 1,884,000. The 4-week moving average was 1,874,500, an increase of 1,000 from the previous week's revised average. This is the highest level for this average since November 27th, 2021, when it was 1,928,000. The previous week's average was revised down by 2,000 from 1,875,500 to 1,873,500. Let me see. What was the? They didn't say what they revised it to. The number of actual. So this is our graph. Pretty much stayed the same. The advanced number of actual initial claims under state programs unadjusted was 229,478 in the week ending of November 9th, an increase of about 17,000 or 7.9%. The seasonal factors had expected an increase of 20,788 or 9.8% from the previous week. There were 217,438 initial claims in the comparable week in 2023. So there were more in this year than last year. Let's see. The rate doesn't change. Total number of continued weeks claims for benefits in all programs for weeks ending in October 26 was 1,670,176, an increase of 30,622 from the previous week. Let's see. No state triggered extended benefit programs. Initial claims for UI benefits filed by former federal civilian employees total 506 in the week ending of November 2nd. That might go up. That might go up once you have the Doge team in charge. A decrease of 22 from the prior week. There were 382 initial claims filed by newly discharged veterans, an increase of 43 from the preceding week. There were 4,243 continued weeks claimed filed by former federal civilian employees the week ending October 26, an increase of 205 from the previous week. Newly discharged veterans claiming benefits totaled 4,554, an increase of 60 from the prior week. So, the highest insured unemployment rate in the week ending of October 26 were in New Jersey with 2.2, California at 2.0, Puerto Rico at 1.9, Washington at 1.7, Nevada 1.6, Rhode Island 1.6, Alaska 1.5, Massachusetts 1.5, New York 1.5, Illinois 1.4, and Pennsylvania at 1.4. The largest increases in initial claims for the week ending of November 2nd were California at 3,825, Michigan 3,439, Ohio 1,911, New Jersey 1,317, and Kansas 870, while the largest decreases were in Florida. Shout out to Florida at 1,530, Georgia at 1,303, Missouri 797, New York negative 469, and Washington negative 364. All right, let's go back to full screen. So that is our initial jobless claims for the week. We have one more to get to. That's the retail sales report. But let's check the chat really, really quick and see what we got going. And Yakar says that we appreciate you for being here, CV63. We certainly do appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
And and Steve says, y'all are a good time here. Of course, you know how we do.
Let's get it. We the best.
We are the best. We are the best, all right? Nobody can make tech and these numbers as fun as we can. Shout out to the co-host of the show, Mitch and Yakar, our co-hosts of the show, Mitch and Yakar. Mitch says, life is hard for a lot of people, so we try to teach and learn and have fun at the same time. He says, they can forget their problems for a little while they're here. I'm happy with that. Exactly. You know what? As tough as Mitch might try to make himself out to be, he is really just the nicest person that you will ever meet. Like when I say he cared, I had to help Mitch to stop caring as much for people who don't care about their own success. Right. But he always strays away. He always goes back. He always goes back. I'm just saying. But Mitch really, really cares. It says, you guys, put the whole Federal Reserve, IRS, and the FDA on the unemployment side. And Stevie says, awesome, my kind of place. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
All right, we're gonna get into our last topic of the day. Let's go over here. We're done with the U.S. Department of Labor. Let's get to the U.S. Commerce Department will release its retail sales report for October, which tracks demand for finished goods, such as food, clothing, and furniture in store and online. All right, let's search for retail. So, Commerce Department report on retail sales. Let's click on that. And it's brought to us by the U.S. Census Bureau. We have the link here to get to it. So, what is the Commerce Department report on retail goods? The Commerce Department is a part of the U.S. government that deals with the business and trade. They put out a report that tells us how much stuff people are buying in stores and online. This stuff is called retail goods. So, why is this report important? So, let's see. Economic health check. So imagine the economy as a big machine, right? This report helps us see if the machine is running smoothly or if it needs fixing. If people are buying a lot of stuff, it means they have money and feel good about the future. This is a sign that the economy is healthy. Jobs. When people are buying more things, stores and companies need more workers to make and sell those things. So a good report can mean more jobs. Business decisions. So companies look at this report to decide what to make more of and what to sell. If they see that people are buying a lot of one thing, they try to make more of it. Investments. Investors use this information to decide where to put their money. If retail sales are up, they might invest more in companies that sell goods. So why the hell should you care? So even if you're not a business owner or an investor, this report still can affect you. Here's how. Prices. If people are buying a lot of certain items, the prices for those items might go up because they're in demand. The job market. If the report shows that sales are strong, it means that more job opportunities for you and others. Economic stability. A good report means the economy is stable, which can make it easier for families to plan for the future, buy homes, and save money. So in short, the Commerce Department report on retail goods is like a health check for the economy, showing us how much people are buying and help us understand if things are going well or if they are a problem that needs fixing. All right. So let's use an example of a barbershop owner. So the barbershop owner notices that customer traffic has been inconsistent lately. Upon reviewing the Commerce Department's latest retail report, the owner learns that consumer spending on non-essential items like luxury goods and grooming services has decreased in the last quarter. Additionally, the report highlights a rise in online retail and household saving behavior, suggesting that people are cutting back on discretionary spending. How the barbershop owner can benefit. So they can offer promotional offers. So in response, the owner could introduce discounts or loyalty programs that encourage repeat visits, focusing on affordable grooming packages that appeal to budget-conscious consumers. I remember we were talking about the other day where how much, when we went over this example, in the chat, share. If you are a guy how much does it cost you to get a haircut, and whatever else you get at the barbershop. If you are a woman, if you're a lady, how much did you pay to go to get, let's say, a normal trip to the hairdresser? How much does that cost you? I want to know for the guys and for the gals. How much does it cost to get your hair done, right? If you're getting a cut, or if you're getting, some hairdo, maybe you're getting braids, maybe you're getting a perm, who knows? How much does it cost you, right? Or do you do it yourself? Do you do it yourself? That's another option, right? So, let's see, collaboration with product retailers. The report indicates growth in personal care product sales, for example, beard oils and grooming kits. The owner could partner with product suppliers to sell these items in the shop, creating an additional revenue stream. Adjusting operating hours. If the report hints at lower foot traffic during certain periods, the owner could change hours of operation to reduce overhead costs while ensuring the shop is open during peak hours. Targeted marketing. If the report identifies a decline in consumer spending overall, but growth in holiday or seasonal retail, the owner could plan for seasonal marketing campaigns that align with times when consumers are more willing to spend. For example, holiday gift grooming packages. All right. So that is our example. Let's get to our report. All right. So advanced monthly sales for retail product services. Why is that? Why do the government websites always suck? That's a rhetorical question. All right. So let's see what we have here. Advanced estimates for U.S. retail food and services. Wait a second. Is that the right one? Hold on one second. Okay, that's one. Yeah, a report on retail sales, right? So, the advanced estimates for U.S. retail and food services sales for October 2024, adjusted for seasonal variation and holiday and trading day differences, but not for price changes, were $718.9 billion. An increase of 0.4% for the previous month and up 2.8% from October 2023. Total sales for August 2024 through October 2024 period were up 2.3% from the same period a year ago. The August 2024 to September 2024 percent change was revised up 0.4% Let me read that over. The August 2024 to September 2024 percent change was revised from up 0.4% to up 0.8%. All right, got it. All right, retail trade sales were up 0.4% from September 2024 and up 2.6% from last year. Non-store retailers were up 0.7% from last year, while food services and drinking places were up 4.3% from October 2023. I think that drinking places will always be around. They'll always be up because people have to get their drink on. People love the bars. Like I'm telling you, people love bars and stuff like that because it is a I guess it's a good way to socialize with other people. Grabbing a drink after work. And some people, they just live at the bar as well. So I don't know. But that's it. That's our advanced monthly sales for retail and food services brought to us by the U.S. Census Bureau. Right. So that is all of that for the report on retail sales. Let's go to full screen right before we wrap up the show. Let's see. And we have Alexis in the building. Says happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you, Alexis. How are you doing? Let's see. Okay. I'm all right. I'm gonna tell you this, Alexis. You gotta be careful because you putting Mitch's name last, he will get offended, right? He will get offended. He'll be like, why am I last? Why am I last? I'm just saying. Just gotta be careful. He'll come after you. And your question says, and you better thank a union member. They out here fixing big, big machines. Yes, they are. Shout out to the union members. Mitch says not mama today. Let's see. It says so bad. Do you think she is still thanking a union member? Negative ghostwriter. Negative ghostwriter. Mitch says, I don't pay, but I know people paying $40 to $70 for a haircut. I remember when I was growing up, $10 was the cost of a haircut. It was $10 for the price of a haircut. And it's gotten crazy. Because now, like, and now, like, you might have to set an appointment, and if you just go as a walk-in, at certain barbershops, you might be there for the whole entire day waiting to pay the $40 to $70 for a haircut. Yakar says, I'm censoring myself so you don't harass her. I'm from the South, Mitch. We call all mothers mama. I didn't say, what up, little mama? He didn't say that. He did not say, what up, little mama.
We the best.
Let's see. So TV63 says that, that's easy. I got no hair, paid about $30 in the past 15 years for razors. I've been thinking about doing the same thing, right? Like, so $30 the past 15 years for razors. All you gotta do is shave it off. Mitch says, stop it. Do you know who you're talking to? Now you saying Lil Mama. Might as well say Big Mama. Stop it. Your guy says, I cut my own hair 90% of the time. The last haircut was a month ago, and it was like $35 plus a tip. Your question says, Big Mama equals grandma. Lil Mama equals chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side. Chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side. Mm-hmm. And Mitch says, I know what it means. That's not how it came out, though. It's all good. Alexa says, do mine most times. Only go to the salon if I'm attending an event. And how much would that cost you? How much would that cost you, Alexis? If you're going to, let's say you have an event to go to and you go to the salon, how much are you, and what style are you getting and how much is that costing you? Just curious. And says, you pay yourself for haircuts. Hope you tip well. I think we should pay ourselves. It says 10 to 15 the most. I'm telling you, like when I was a kid, they would even say $7 to $8 for kids' hair, and then like $10 to $12 for adults. So I know what you mean, especially like down here at least, right? I know different areas might be more expensive, but down here it was like $6 to $8 for kids, and then on Tuesdays there would be special pricing as well. Gar says, Kamala is getting drunk with the Mitch and the union members. Biden is walking around with a MAGA hat talking ish to Nancy and Barry. Wow, that escalated quickly. Says, if it's lemonade, I'm definitely drunk. Did somebody spike Mitch's lemonade? Did somebody spike Mitch's lemonade? Is this why Mitch has been so aggressive the past two streams? Who knows? All right, so let's see. CV says, Biden trying to get on DT's good side, keeping him out of the slammer. That is a possibility. Now that the laptop is back in play, you got the kid who is, pled guilty in, what state did he plead guilty in? He got found guilty in the gun case, and he pled guilty for, I forgot what it was. He pled guilty for something recently. I forgot what state it was, or maybe it was a federal case. Your car says, I tipped myself $1,000. Then I borrowed it from myself and owe myself interest. It's hard out. It is hard out here. I mean, you got to borrow from yourself and then you got to pay yourself interest. Well, hopefully the interest is going to be capped at 10%, your car. Hopefully it's capped at 10%. If I ever offended any one of you, I apologize. I mean, I am offended every single time, Mitch. So your apology, I humbly and gracefully accept your apology. All right, Mitch? You're a good guy. You're a good guy. At the end of the day, you're a good guy. We got my guy in the building, Telltale Woke in the building. Telltale Woke with the API calls. What's good, Telltale Woke or Walk? Telltale Walk. Telltale Walk. What's good, Telltale Walk? I'm doing well. How are you doing? Let's see. Alexa says, definitely less than 100. My natural hair is in a high bun. You pay 100. You pay less than 100 for them to put your natural hair in a high bun. Gotta look up what a high bun is real quick. Cause let me see. What is natural hair in a high bun? Let's see how that looks. No. Did I lose my do not come? Let me
Do
see.
not come.
Yeah, all right. So I still got that one. No, we're not paying $100 for natural hair now. I'm just messing, Alexis. I'm just messing with you. All right. Let's see. Don't pay him no mind. Guilty for felony possession. Well, he got convicted of that, but he pled guilty recently to something else. I forgot, what was it? Wasn't it for like the tax stuff? I think it was the tax stuff. He pled guilty for the tax. I think it was in LA. He pled guilty for the tax stuff. I think that's what it was. Telltale says, have a 2.5 contract to interview for. Will definitely need my resume looked at. Gonna send it today. Send it over. I saw you were doing some. I saw the notification that you were making some adjustments to it. So send it over. It says your car's new investment strategy is going wild. Tell you, and then what? And then this is what's gonna happen, right? Then your car's gonna investigate himself to see if he is price gouging himself. And if he is, if he is doing predatory lending to himself, right? I'm just saying. Guilty? Was he guilty of evidence? No, but not. That's probably with the gun case too, though. But I'm saying, didn't he have like the tax case where he actually pled guilty? He didn't plead guilty to the gun case. They found he was convicted of that, or they found him guilty of that. But I think there was a tax case. Let me see. I think the tax case in California. Let me see. Hunter Biden pleads guilty. In tax evasion case. He pled guilty in the tax evasion case. He pled guilty. So it's right here. Let me go here. Convicted on 3 felony tax offenses and 6 misdemeanor tax offenses. He pled guilty in federal court in LA this afternoon, which was September 5th. Let's see. And there was no plea agreement. The sentencing is December 16th, 2024. So that's the one I'm referring to. And I think he pled guilty because if they had to go and release all the evidence, that would have rained havoc on his family. That's my thought. Let's see. Telltale says, been learning object-oriented programming for the project. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Hikar says, I'll never be broke and I'll never be out of debt. She is saying she doesn't have to buy fake Indian hair. That's good. That is good. Perfectly safe strategy. Says that's true. People don't understand the debt part. And says it is cheaper because there's no weave involved. I just looked up a high bun and I'm like, man, less than $100 for a high bun, that is expensive. However, I'm sure they say.
Thank you for your patronage.
So her cost is just labor for stuff. All I'm saying is less than 100 is still expensive. If you had said like less than 40, I'd be like, that sounds good to me. But less than 100, you gotta bring the price. You gotta bring the price down. Let's see. I'm just stopping off. No. Is that your New Year's resolution? Your car, Mitch. We need the foolishness. We need the foolishness. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I love the support. Let's see. I'm calling Doge on myself. They're gonna show up to your car. It's like, so what would you say you do here? Let's see. Says, I understand because you called me a druggie several times. Wow. It says Doge is looking for unpaid employees to work 80 hours a week if you're not busy. Hey, you really gotta love government efficiency to take on that job. Let's see. Car says debt is the key. Good debt is the key. And Alexa says that includes shampoo, deep conditioner, etc. I don't know. Let's see. I hear you. But like you did say though, that it is rarely, right? So only when there's an event. That's why you got to use the producer price index and the consumer price index to schedule the events that you attend when the cost of the shampoo, the deep conditioning, whatever else that they use is not as expensive. Because like if it's like during when the prices are going to go up, like nope, no events. I'm not attending any events right now. The CPI and the PPI are way too high for me to be attending events. Right? Your car says they can't get their nails done for $40. That is true. Back in the days, you can go in there and they can do your nails for like $15. I remember that. Back in the days, you go in there for like $15, $20. You get your nails done, your feet done, all that good stuff, and you were good to go. Now, it's like $60. It is crazy out here, right? And Mitch says to Alexis that you called yourself a druggie. I just repeated it. When I repeat something that people say, they're like, well, you didn't have to agree. I'm like, I'm just repeating what you said. I'm just saying. Alexis says, Manny/Petty is 100 before tip. What? Nope. Not happening. Nope. Not happening. Anyways, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I had a great time. Did you have a good time? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? I had a lot of fun. But you guys know, especially when it comes to money, that yesterday's price is not today's price. And today's price is certainly not tomorrow's price because...
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is always going up. And let's just finish this real quick. Let's see. Alexa says to Mitch that we are past this, all right? We are past this. And Chris says, I'm opening up a nail salon. Tell me about it. Mitch says, see you guys. A new and improved Mitch. Shout out to a new and improved Mitch. And again, your car says entertained as always. And CV63 says, take care. Always love to join the fun. We will be live tomorrow in the afternoon. We're going to be working on DevOps and stuff like that. So I will be looking forward to seeing you guys there. But with that being said, this is Tech Coach Ralph. We are out.
Tech Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains. But trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
Yeah, they come around asking me to pay the rent. Let me hold something like they can't make a sense. Always crying foul, say the world's so cold. But they ain't doing nothing, just waiting to be sold. Victims of their drama can't escape the game. Always pointing fingers, but they're just the same. I ain't your bank, I ain't your crutch. Always need a hand, but never give much. Wake up, little dreamers, gotta earn your stake. While you're here crying, I'm building my fate. You call me crazy, but I'm seeing the truth. While you're stuck in your ways, just chasing your youth. Claim the odds are stacked, yeah, life's a fight. But with all that complaining, when do you ignite? The victim Olympics, man, they take the gold. But when it's time to act, they fold, the story's told. I ain't your bank, I ain't your crutch. Always need a hand, but never give much. Wake up, little dreamers, gotta earn your stake. While you're here crying, I'm building my fate. So let me make it clear, Hear the truth in my tone. Help yourself first, or you'll always be alone. I ain't your bank, I ain't your crutch. Always need a hand, but never give much. Wake up, little dreamers, gotta earn your stake. While you're here crying, I'm building